Hello guys and welcome back to my video. I'm Forrest and today I want to make an announcement and release my Graves skin tier this video. I'm going to talk about every skin Graves has as of early 2026. This won't be based only on my opinion and taste, but on how smooth it feels to play with certain skins, because some skins have better animations and it feels better to play with them. As you may have already known, I'm working on a Graves guide in the background, which is pretty much done, and I'm going to show you my progress at the end of this video. So let's start with one of Graves' oldest skins, Riot Graves. The base look is alright, but obviously outdated because this is one of his, if not his oldest skins in the game. You won't get any extra voice lines or sound effects, just changed visuals of how Graves looks and the change to his shotgun. Definitely D tier skin unless Riot gives him a visual rework. The second worst Graves skin, if you ask me, is none other than Jailbreak Graves. The only good thing about this skin is that it's legacy. So if you own it, well, it has more value. But besides that, I don't remember getting any extra value from it in terms of visuals or voice lines. It's a really basic skin, so in my books it deserves D tier as well. Then we got one, if not the best Graves skin in the game, Crime City, or how everyone calls it, Mafia Graves. Thank you Riot for changing its name. He definitely needs his cigar in the splash art, but even without it he looks badass. You don't get fancy animations, but his shotgun is badass. No extra voice lines either, but the animations feel really smooth and definitely worth paying the 975 RP. If you don't own this skin already, one of the best Graves skin you can use if you decide to ever buy one. Plus, every true Graves OTP owns it. Riot Graves is next and this skin could be alright, but his gun is too big. And the sound of his auto attacks is too harsh, at least for me. His body armor doesn't fit him, the textures seem too big. This is more like a preference thing, too outdated for my taste. You can use it of course if you want to, there's nothing wrong with it besides the look and sound, but hey, you might even like it. So it's up to you. But for me, this is a C tier skin. His next skin is Pool Party Graves. And if you don't enjoy the watery splash sound on his Q and auto attacks, you most likely won't like this skin. But the animations are smooth, he has a nice look, this actually has a lot of good chromas as well. You can't go wrong with this one, and during the wall summer I'm using this skin pretty much with different chromas every game. Definitely an S tier skin. But then we have another ugly skin, not as ugly as Jailbreak or Higher Gun, at least not in my taste, so he will be C tier. I mean, the skin deserves C tier. It clearly shows how outdated his skins are. He's holding a huge ass cannon, which needs to be reloaded. Makes no sense at all. It looks better in game than the other splash art, but that's it. At least I don't remember this skin being clunky. I was having a hard time deciding where to place this skin and I went with A tier, but probably it deserves S tier. I'm talking about Snow Day Graves, and this skin is fantastic and really fun as well. The recoil animation is big and the W looks really nice with that little penguin in the middle. Really his third best skin he ever got. It still hurts that I started playing League in Season 8 and people got Victorious Graves in Season 7 because I like this skin a lot, and sure, it's nothing crazy, it's pretty much just a slight reskin of his default skin. But this is easily the last good looking Victorious skin Riot released. Definitely better than Graves' default skin though, so it will be B tier, as I don't think it deserves the same spot as some of his better skins, while the base skin is C tier. This one is B, like I said. Next we have the ugliest Graves skin ever made. The auto attack sound is really bad and the look is really bad. He makes robotic noises, he doesn't even talk. Definitely D tier. It's ugly with bad sound design. There is nothing I like about this skin, and literally this is the only skin I dislike the most and can't say a single good thing about it. Let me know if anyone likes this skin, because I can't be alone with this one. So next, Better Professor is much better, and it's easily B tier simply because I don't like his auto attack sound. I don't know why, but with this skin I feel like I deal less damage. Some of his chromas are alright, the skin looks good and the animations are smooth, but those auto attack sounds are really bad in my opinion. At least it's one of the better skins he has. Then we have Sentinel, and Sentinel Graves is A tier, honestly, and not S tier because it can be really annoying how much he talks. He has some unique and funny voice lines. At first, the way he moved and how much he talked was making me go crazy. But after playing with the skin a fair amount, I started enjoying it. It looks too flashy though, and noticing how many Easter eggs you have can be hard with this skin. It feels like it's kind of too much, but this white and black look is amazing. Honestly, I really love this skin. And it's only 8 tier because I didn't like it at first. And the 1820 RP is super pricey. I have it on my main account, but I don't recommend buying it. Honestly, unless you really like it. You can almost buy Crime City and Pool Party, especially if you get them in your shop for the same price. So it's up to you, of course. But I would say 2 skins instead of 1 is much better. Unless, like I said, you really like this skin. Then we have EDG Graves. Finally, we get a burst skin, and even though it wasn't for Jungle Graves, we take it, I guess. It looks really nice. Maybe that's just me being biased because I love the blue color. It's nothing too crazy though. It's smooth, so it's definitely worth playing with this one. It's an 8 tier skin for me because it's still not as bad as some of his other skins, but in general I would say it looks really nice. And lastly, we have Porcelain Graves, and this skin will be B tier. Yes, it's worse than EDG Graves. Despite the blue and white look, the sound effects are too much and too harsh, at least for my taste, like I said. Honestly, I love this skin family more on Kindred. I have it on Kindred as well, and playing her with that skin just feels good. Not like it feels bad to play Graves with this skin, but having the same harsh auto attack sound for Kindred just matches her more. But it's cool to have this skin on Graves as well. It is hard to notice your restacks as well, just like with Sentinel, so this is my wall tier list on your screen. But what do you think? Which skins are your favorite? And how would you change my tier list? And now, like I said, I want to make an announcement as well. My Graves guide for Season 16, the most in-depth guide on Mobafire in my opinion, is finally done. Well, almost. One category is missing, but I'm working on that as well. But I wanted to make it public after this video releases, so you will find a Mobafire link for this guide under the video description. Make sure to check it out. First off, we have a recommended item build set, which will be the standard build for Grave Jungle in Season 16, of course. We have Yumi's Ghostblade, Collector, Lord Dominic's Shieldbow and the Infinity Edge. Nothing too crazy. Standard so far. The only page for most builds, and I should change the naming because that is not right actually, but at the time I was starting this guide, Dark Harvest was his best rune setup. But don't worry, I have notes for each section, so you will know why I went with each rune. But then second, we have a standard fleet page, which I think actually is better in Season 16 than a Dark Harvest, so you can go with this build setup, with this rune setup every game and you will be totally fine. If you are a Dark Harvest enjoyer, you can go with Dark Harvest as well, but I feel like having the sustain, having the extra chase potential with fleet page is slightly better in Season 16 with the crit setup. But both pages can work, and there is a third page for Bruiser Graves, in which you will be taking Bloodline with Cutdown. This is when you won't be able to one-shot people, you will have extended skirmishes. But don't worry, you will find notes for everything. Then we have lethality into grid setup, of course, with notes why you should build each item, when to build each item, why we take blue jungle pet or red jungle pet, do we take head potion, do we not take head potion. You will find notes for everything. Then Armor Shred Bruiser Graves, which I think is really good. I have been playing with this build a lot recently and I actually like it the most. But after all, it's preference and all builds are working totally fine. Then we have, of course, a Bruiser Grave setup with Trinity Force. Once again, notes for each item, each build, as mentioned before. Trinity Force, Black Cleaver, Thunder Sky, you name it. You want to build one of these items if you are going Bruiser Graves. And I have a must mention item section as well, because I think Armor Glaive is underrated. When should you build Hubris on Graves? When should you build Stormrazor? Should you ever build Stormrazor? What about Opportunity and items like Edge of Night? TLDR, the items you see in these builds are the only items you should go on Graves in Season 16. Yes, there are other items which people are sometimes taking, like Cheryl does, you name it, but I don't think those items are that great, or that full lethality Graves is that great, because recently Graves got a crit buff, so I would say you are kinda trolling if you are not building crit items on Graves in Season 16. Then obviously ability order I have with notes. When do you start with Q? When do you start with E? You will find a description about that as well. We have a synergy and thrust category. I have to finish thrust category. Literally this is the only thing which is missing from my guide, but I have synergy for top lane, mid lane, AD carry and support, because I think this is the best way to show you the best champions you can play with Graves, or like the best champions to have in your team when you are looking to play Graves, starting with the ideal setup going all the way down to 0 synergy. And of course for each champion I have added notes, while kill top is really bad to have on your team when you're playing Graves, why it's really bad to have Kassadin in your team on mid lane when you're playing Graves, same goes for Vayne and same goes for Lux support and supports like Lux. I made a quick why I made this guide and why I want to help you guys. I forgot if I mentioned or not, but you may already know that I'm a Master Tier Graves player, so that's why I made my guide, and that's why I think it's worth your time to actually read it through, and maybe I can help you learn something new about Graves. Of course, I have a pros and cons of playing Graves section as well, but I will let you read this through. Graves abilities if you are someone new to Graves, and combos as well, rating from basic combo, normal and hard combos. These are all the combos that came up in my mind. I hope I'm not missing any of his combos. Then we have a playstyle and game plan section as well. What is your playstyle and what is your game plan should look like for the early game, for the mid game and for late game as well. Then we have a jungle clear guide, which camp should you start, how to clear it. At the bottom I added a written note that you can also check my full clear guide on YouTube for Graves, even though I made that guide in season 15. It's still up to date because nothing has changed. Yes, the jungle camps are spawning faster, but basically your clear does not change. Yes, we are clearing jungle camps slower, but that doesn't affect Graves. I mean, it doesn't affect Graves in the sense that you can full clear before Scuttle, even in season 16. If you watch my guide and if you learn how to full clear with Graves jungle, then obviously we have our Graves skin tier list, which I talked about at the start of the video. And then you can find my socials if you want to follow me on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. If you want my Discord server, if you would like to join my Discord server for paid and free coaching as well, there you have it. So this is my announcement. I will leave the link for this in the description and would like to see and hear your feedback in the comment section and on my Discord server as well, because I will make a public post really soon about this guide. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and see you all in my next video. Peace.